Hey Internet, I just finished doing a herd watching post video from the car, so I figured I would take a moment and talk to you guys. I wanted to answer a couple questions. I have been getting a few questions about my Instagram account, and you can see those posts coming up on my Facebook page as well. So about every day, so like roughly every 24 hours from the first one went up on January 2nd, because my day doesn't really go midnight to midnight. That's just not the way my rhythm and my schedule is. Starting in January 2nd, I've been putting up an Instagram post approximately every day with a quotation or a thought of either my own or quoted from someone else. If I'm quoting someone else, it has an attribution. If it's mine, then I'm not attributing it to anybody because I have my Instagram handle right in the graphic. But all the photography that you're seeing in there, even though most of it's, it's fairly generic, sky and bushes and roads and trees and empty spaces and bridges and whatever, that's all mine as well. I decided that, one of the things I want to try and do in 2017 is not repurpose other people's content quite so much. I wanted to take a stab at creating more of it of my own. So those photographs are either from my archives. Some of them were taken years and years ago on miscellaneous cell phones or film cameras or whatever, and I'm constantly keeping my eyes out these days. So I'll pull over on the side of the road if I see something interesting, like a barrier or a sign or a building or a particular view, and I'm just sort of kind of getting my feet wet under me on that sort of photography, where I sort of know the kind of things I want to talk about this year, and though I'm leaving myself the freedom to reuse those images. So if I have a particularly useful picture, I might use it more than once this year, but I'm really trying to not recycle them, or not certainly recycle them very often. One of the goals here is to challenge myself over the year to take 340, 350 plus photos and build up that library and sort of go with that. So basically, I'm taking photos every day or so that I kind of vaguely have a plan for over the next week, and I'm just kind of staying ahead of it and filling in the gaps with historical photos from my archives that I've taken before. Now, some of those photos have been used in memes of my own previously, and I'm trying really hard. I have not yet, and I don't know if I'm going to use some of the memes I created, some of the Instagram photos that I created previous to January 1 that are mine and are of my whole creation. I consider those eligible since I'm the guy making the rules for this art project. They're my photography, they're my words, they're my graphics, they were of my creation. I've previously published them on Instagram, but maybe republishing them as part of this art project, quote unquote, or this social media project is reasonable. I don't know. I haven't done it yet, and I may not do it. I may decide that 2017 is for content from 2017, and that if I particularly like one of the quotes from the past, because I've obviously used my favorite quotes there, then I'll make a new graphic and put that out. But so for those of you who are asking, that's kind of what that's coming from, and why you see one basically every 24-hour cycle, plus or minus. So far, I haven't really missed one, but I'm certainly not going to really lose my mind if on a technicality I go 25 hours and make up the next one. The goal will be by January 2nd on 2018 that if I look back at my Instagram, I will have 365 pieces of original social media content, and I'm not going to kill myself if they're one is 25 hours and then one was 23 hours the following one, so it averages out. Otherwise, that way lies madness. So I hope you guys are enjoying that. Feel free to follow me on Instagram at The Modern Samurai, THEMDRN Samurai, basically the same as everything else. And you can always find my blog on the web. You can always find me here on Facebook. But go ahead and bookmark my website and my blog if you're a blog reader. You never know in the vagaries of Facebook, and given my, my outspoken political views, they may decide that, someday I cross the line. Facebook has really weird standards, and as a private company, they're not accountable. So if you want to make sure you can always find me I would make sure you bookmark my webpage. All right, folks, I hope you have a great day if we don't talk again. And thanks again for all of your support. Thanks again for the likes. Thanks for the growing number of subscribers on YouTube. The number is small, but we are growing. And also, the post I put up the other day about Design Pickle, I've gotten some very nice feedback from the folks at Design Pickle, and they may wind up featuring that post on their blog, which is incredibly nice of them. And I welcome the exposure. I meant everything I said about it, and I hope they, have the opportunity to reach a bunch of people with that message. All right, folks, take it easy, and I will talk